A lot of people think Aquarius people are really cool because they're just so authentic. They just can't conform. They can't be anything other than themselves. But it's not because they're trying to be, it's because they're not trying at all. They really could care less generally. They are not thinking about trying to be cool in any way, and that is sort of why people can sometimes be attracted to them. And sometimes their reaction can be a little bit like, oh, like, get away from me, like I'm not trying to hang out. Hello, my beautiful Aquarius friends, welcome to Promethea Astrology. My name is Aleena, and today I'm telling you everything you need to know about Aquarius, and particularly Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising. So stick around if you are any of those things or have any of those placements. And know that this is a part of a series that I'm doing. So I have already made videos about the fixed signs. Aquarius is fixed air. I have a video about the air signs. Aquarius is a masculine sign. So there's a video on gender out there for you. And also a deep dive into Saturn, which is the planetary ruler of Aquarius. So if you want to really get deep down into what it means to be Aquarius, I do recommend that you watch these other videos as well. But for today, I'll be getting more into the symbol and the season and the body part that Aquarius rules, since I have not yet covered those things, but also just generally all together, who is Aquarius and what does it mean to be an Aquarius? So I think it's good to start with the planetary ruler for learning the zodiac, because the zodiac sign will basically be an embodiment of its planetary ruler. So Aquarius is essentially a manifestation of Saturn, and particularly the fixed air version of Saturn. There are two signs that Saturn rules. One is Aquarius and the other is Capricorn. Capricorn is the cardinal earth version of Saturn. Capricorn is the feminine Saturn. Aquarius is the masculine Saturn. So Saturn is our planet of punishment, isolation, hardship, discipline, structure, responsibility, time, all of those types of things. So for Aquarius, the way that this looks is that Aquarius tends to be very interested in the future. Saturn is Lord of time and loves long distance thinking in terms of time. So Aquarius can really be interested in stepping into the future and thinking about the future, very much sci-fi type of energy. Can be really into technology as well. And just especially as the water bearer, Aquarius is the water bearer. This is the archetype of bringing water to the gods. So Aquarius can be quite humanitarian as well. So they tend to be interested in thinking about what would be the best structure, Saturn, for humanity, the best social structure, social air, that will last and give us posterity and be the best for everyone. So that way we can really make it through. And as a Saturn-ruled sign, Aquarius tends to be really interested in bringing structure to ideas. As an air sign, they're super brainy, love to think, very smart. They tend to want to have structures for ideas. And again, particularly, it can also be thinking about social structures, like what would be the best for everyone, but it can also just be any other type of ideological or scientific, any type of thinking realm. They are going to want to break down and organize ideas and can be very serious about their ideas and ideology. Saturn, seriousness. Another quality of Saturn is isolation. And so a lot of times Aquarius people will experience isolation, particularly during childhood. They might have been quite isolated, or could be for reasons of their own, like maybe they would rather be alone and they're just choosing that. Or sometimes it's for reasons outside of their control. And sometimes too, they get this archetype of being the black sheep. Aquarius tends to be very different, very zany, kind of like the alien, which has to do with that interest in the future. They're often ahead of their time, but also can be because they are just not interested in people similar to them. They like to be around people who are very different. So sometimes the black sheep can be because you are not interested in people like you want to experience different, you're fascinated by people, you want to know how people are in different places and contexts, maybe even around the world, but what are people like generally? I already know how I am, so how's everybody else? Or it can be because you may just have grown up in isolation to some degree, or just spent a lot of time alone. And so generally Aquarius just does not conform. And again, that difference, that standing out, can be because they just didn't experience conformity because they were isolated, maybe for reasons outside of their control or maybe because of their own reasons. Those are sort of the two different flavors of Aquarius. And sometimes they will be different types and different points in their lives. They will have periods of being isolated for reasons outside of their control, and they will have periods of maybe being more social and just choosing to be around people who are different from them and being the odd one out. And so because they are so in the future and also tend to be this black sheep, this standout, very different type of person, they can often be considered quite cool. A lot of people think Aquarius people are really cool because they're just so authentic. They just can't conform. They can't be anything other than themselves. But it's not because they're trying to be, it's because they're not trying at all. And so that can be why people sometimes think Aquarius people are cool. They really could care less generally. They are not thinking about trying to be cool in any way, and that is sort of why people can sometimes be attracted to them. And sometimes their reaction can be a little bit like, oh, like, get away from me, like I'm not trying to hang out. Even though people think that they're really cool and even sometimes want to be like them or are inspired by them. But even though Aquarius is very humanitarian and interested in what is best for the collective and how do we organize ourselves better to benefit humanity, they're more interested in humanity abstractly, from a distance, collectively, not interpersonally. They don't tend to be really warm or inviting emotionally. You know, it's not like I want to get to know you particularly and hear about everything you have going on. I just want to talk about ideas and think about what's best for everyone and think about humanity abstractly. Aquarius can be incredibly abstract and really just interested in concepts and ideas over the concrete, felt, emotional, material things. That doesn't tend to be as interesting to them. They don't tend to really gravitate towards intense emotional connections or practices or things grounded in reality. They really are just kind of in their head, in the clouds, fixed air like a cloud, just floating up there, observing everything, not necessarily trying to connect to anything on earth. Yeah, that's Aquarius. And so they can be very brainy too. They will sometimes be into science or math or just really smart, complicated stuff. Technology, social intelligence, but again, it may not be so much like one-on-one relating social intelligence, probably not like that, but more like organizational, systematic, how do we organize collectively, governmentally, politically. Another important thing to note about Aquarius is that Aquarius is opposite to Leo in the zodiac. So Leo is all about self-expression and the passion of who you are. And so Aquarius is opposite to that nature in the sense that Aquarius is all about the collective humanity, what is best for everyone. And they can even be a little bit self-denying in a way. And they may not even recognize the importance or validity or existence of the self. They may be more inclined towards frameworks that understand the world and individuals as being interconnected. So it's not that I am me, but I am inextricably linked to every other person, being, object, atom, molecule in the universe. We are all in this together and we cannot be separated from another. So this is beautiful as an essence, but also can sometimes be quite challenging for them to then really get to know themselves and tap into the power of who they are, because they may just deny that even exists or just totally not think that that's important. Self-development or understanding the self or getting to know yourself. They might be overly oriented towards the collective and what is best for everyone and how do we all make this work. So sometimes a point of growth for Aquarius people can be to really tap into who they are and understand their unique role in the world and the unique energy of themselves that no one else can provide. That essence and contribution that's uniquely yours, and the way that you have to really understand and dive into yourself and take time being with yourself and learning about yourself to really get to all of that can seem just selfish to an Aquarius. Why would I spend all this time on myself? How is that going to be worth anything? There's so much going on in the world. We need to worry about the collective and what is best for everyone. There's no time for that. And there's not even a me anyway. We are all each other. So one thing that I would recommend for Aquarius people is to spend time to get to know themselves, to really dive into who they are and the unique essence that is them. You may not even acknowledge that that is a thing that exists, but astrology is something that can actually really help you do that in a way too. And particularly if you are Aquarius rising, then looking at the ascendant can help you point yourself in the right direction of who you are. So to get into Aquarius Sun now, this is going to be more of the ego, the persona, the light you shine into the world, also qualities inherited from the father. So sometimes this can be people who may have had fathers who were a little bit distant or maybe a little bit brainy, a little bit out there, a little zany, eccentric, that type of thing could be the type of father you might have had. Or can also just be people who are very smart and they tend to really be known for their eccentricities. Maybe their style is extremely out there or different or futuristic. They really look the part of just the futurist. They look like they came from the future. And this can be true for Aquarius Moon people as well. It's more of an embodied thing. But the sun is also how you're known and how people see you, especially for day charts. If you're a night chart, then maybe you might look the part more of that kind of eccentric, otherworldly space person from the future. That's kind of Aquarius Sun more so. And maybe a little bit more of this type of popularity or kind of being drawn towards this archetype a little bit more and being around people who are different or also spending lots of time by themselves, very smart. And certainly the black sheep in whatever situation, they will be different. They cannot help but to be different. They must be different. It's a compulsion almost. They cannot stand conformity. That is just the opposite of what they would ever want. And this will be true for any type of Aquarius. Conformity is the enemy for sure. Then for an Aquarius Moon, this is going to be more of the emotions and qualities inherited from the mother or how you experienced your mother's mothering. So this might be someone who had a mother that was also, again, maybe quite distant or eccentric or just a little bit detached, maybe a little bit more analytical, maybe not as nurturing or emotional in a sense. Maybe a mother who really stood out in some way, was quite different, maybe the black sheep, or appeared that way to you to be very different. But an Aquarius Moon, so Aquarius is not the easiest sign for the moon to be in. The moon, very emotionally supportive, very nurturing, very felt. And those are not things that Aquarius is generally very interested in. So an Aquarius moon will probably have this extreme intelligence, but regarding the emotions, they can often be extremely emotionally intelligent. And they have a whole framework. They might be really into psychology or really understanding, breaking down, analyzing the emotions, the personality, the psychology of themselves and others, and like having frameworks for understanding feelings and the intuition and things like that. But do they feel their feelings? Are they embodying their feelings? Maybe not so much. It's more of like this mental intellectualizing of the feelings and emotions more so, which could be true for any of the Aquarius, but especially Aquarius Moon tends to have this particular emotional intelligence and also maybe a little bit of a disconnection from the feelings in that embodied way. The ability to really feel the feelings might not be there as much, may not appear probably very passionate at all, maybe a little bit dry emotionally, a little bit distant, a little bit separate. Not that they're cold, they could be a little bit cold sometimes, but it's just like they're not going to be in their feelings as much. And the way that they demonstrate care and nurturance, that's probably not going to be the strongest thing for them. The way an Aquarius Moon will show you that they care will be like, read this book. Let me offer you a helpful framework for this. Let me offer you a way to think about this that might be helpful. What is going to be emotionally nurturing for an Aquarius person will be logic and reason. They will feel safe enough to open up when they feel like people are being rational here. Rationality is what makes an Aquarius moon feel safe. And that's also the type of nurturance that they offer other people. Let me help you make sense of this, which of course, for many other types of moons may not be what people are particularly interested in all the time. But it'll depend, of course, on all the other placements there too. And again, if you have a night chart, you may embody more of that physical appearance and looking quite different. And an Aquarius moon might also have difficulty connecting to their intuition sometimes, or trusting that it's real, or these other types of unrational, non-logical ways of knowing and understanding things. They may be particularly skeptical of those things and have trouble really connecting to their intuition, or might struggle with over intellectualizing the intuition or the emotions. And then Aquarius rising, everything that I have just talked about is going to be all of you, the totality of who you are, mind, body, and soul. So if you are Aquarius rising, it's going to be extremely important to look at your Saturn sign, because Saturn is the ruler of your ascendant, which basically gives us the major focus, direction, purpose of your life and the flavor of Aquarius that you are. There's 12 different kind of iterations of Aquarius rising depending on the Saturn sign. So you will be a different type of Aquarius rising depending on what zodiac sign your Saturn is placed in. It'll be really important for you to do a deep dive and just do as much research and understanding you can into what that Saturn sign is, because whatever it is going to be kind of the manifestation of who you are and your unique soul energy purpose imprint that you are moving towards embodying in this lifetime. And really aligning with this energy will allow you to be more in the fullness of who you are and unlock the power, energy, and drive you need to actualize your life's purpose. And this can be especially important for Aquarius rising people to look into, because they tend to be so disconnected from the self, or not really realizing the importance of self-development and inner work in the self, because it's opposite to Leo and the sun, like I was saying. So it can be extremely helpful for Aquarius to look into this. Aquarius also rules the ankles and the calves and the lower legs. So sometimes Aquarius rising people tend to have really nice calves and ankles. That's one way that can work out as well. And so Aquarius rising will really look the part in addition. So I think that's everything I'll say about Aquarius for now. But again, do check out those other videos on the fixed signs, the air signs, gender, and Saturn if you want to really go deep and understand Aquarius in this way. You might also subscribe here if you enjoy this video and want to see more like it. I'm going to be going through the houses next. I already went through the planets and the signs, and now I'm doing the houses and then the aspects. And I also will occasionally release videos about horoscopes and what's going on in the sky right now and things like that. You could also like or share this video with your fellow Aquarius friends if you feel like they might get something out of it. That really helps me to grow. And of course, if you want to book a consultation with me, I would like nothing more than to talk to you about your astrology. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. You could also leave a comment if you felt like some things did or did not resonate in this video. Let me know if you're an Aquarius, if there's something I missed or what particularly landed for you or what was helpful. I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for being here. Be well.